And good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Across the Infield. I'm your host, Chris Lakey. Joining me tonight, my co-host, Rick Hammond Jr., and our guest tonight, the driver of the number 2 car for Racing for a Cause, Terry Rennert. Rick, I'm going to start with you. No, you don't get to talk yet, Terry. You shh.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're supposed to be eating your Skittles. Okay, good. Rick, first of all, welcome, and I hope that we're going to be doing this more often and down the road.
I'm definitely, bud. How you doing tonight? Hopefully everybody's having a good start of their weekend. I'm excited for this.
And now, Terry, welcome.
I can talk now.
Oh, well, if you want to, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm just going to walk away. You keep going.
Oh, just keep. You want me to take over the show and interview you?
No. Oh, God, no.
I didn't
So,
think so.
so, all right. So let's get right to it. So, iRacing. Obviously, you have iRacing, or else you wouldn't be a part of the league, and we wouldn't be talking. So, how long have you had it?
I think it's actually been about a year. I want to say I'm coming up on a year or a smidgy over a year.
So you're still a rookie.
Yeah, I'm a rookie. Sounds good to me.
Right on. Junior.
Now, I really have a hard time believing that this is, 1 year into iRacing. I've been on the track with you. I've watched you do some stuff, some crazy stuff. And have you done any other kind of like racing in the past, or?
Yeah, I mean, video game wise, Xbox. All that.
No, we don't talk about. Oh, okay,
years
okay.
and
No,
years.
no. We don't talk about consoles.
But that was, like a warm up to iRacing. But other than sim, eons ago, I used to race at Riverside Park Speedway in Massachusetts, which is now like a ride or something where the track used to be.
Okay, so you actually have like real life experience.
Yeah, somewhere. It's so long ago I don't even remember, so I don't know if it really helps or not.
Muscle memory, though. I mean, you gotta know that there's muscle memory. You have the experience, even if you're not physically thinking about it. It's there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was a long time ago. I think I started at 16, stopped somewhere around 19, 20, somewhere around there.
What were you driving?
It was figure eights for a while, and then some street stocks for a bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, the figure eights were scary at first. I actually drove those before I had a license. I have, this is old school 80s, and being my name's Terry, and, obviously my buddy Jeff likes to make fun of it being a girl's name. I used to have my mom go down and get my NASCAR pass for the day and run my car through inspection, and then I would just get in the car before the race.
That's awesome.
Scared out of my mind. I mean, back it was just, you look over and it was that quintessential, biker guys revving their motor, looking down on me, and I'm like, I'm gonna die. But it was a lot of fun. Once I got in a really good wreck and knew what it was gonna be like, then I calmed down.
Yeah, the scare factor kind of goes away at that point. Like, oh, okay, that sucked, but I'm gonna make it through, so let's just keep going.
Yeah, then you can race. Once you're over that.
I think that holds true kind of like with iRacing too. I know when I started, I'm going on my 5th year, but when I started, I came from, I play a lot of computer games. Of course, back in the day when computers weren't big, everybody had the Nintendos and the Super Nintendos and so forth and so on. But when I got into computer, one of the first ones I did was when Papyrus, and I probably killed their name. Everybody says it different, it seems.
Yeah,
but,
you said it close enough for me.
Okay, there we go. So when they first came out, I was there, and it was actually kind of cool because there was this young kid that was racing in, back then it was the Bush series, and I actually got hooked up in a league with his, so that was kind of cool. And then I took some time off because I was like, I've been anti-pay for service, I guess you could say, in a sense. Like I'm used to buying a game and then just being done with it. But what really got you into wanting to try iRacing?
It was actually a choice between, I was saving the money to get a Xbox because I was a big Fallout fan, and it was Fallout 4 or iRacing, and I leaned towards the iRacing, and thank God that I did, but that was the decision. So I could be not talking to you and be in an interview somewhere in a Fallout 4 chat, or be here with you. And luckily, I think I made the right decision.
I think you did too. We've got a question coming over on YouTube. It's from Connor Parisi. The question is this. Perez, yeah. Yeah, well, I unfortunately I know how to say his name, and once I learn how to say somebody's name, I actually do it right most of the time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Mary? Terry, damn.
Yeah.
So Connor's question is: out of everyone in the league, who do you believe could drive the fastest around Pioneer Valley indoor karting?
I mean, is it people directly in the league, or maybe somebody related to somebody in the league? Because if I could go to related, I would say Connor's dad by far.
Okay, well, I believe, if I'm reading this correctly, it is in the league.
Okay, then it would. I mean, I haven't seen everybody, but I would probably put my money on Connor because I've seen it in person, or Troy. I think if Troy got some laps on that track, he's pretty adaptable to everything. He might be able to give Connor a run for his money, but I think Connor has probably $10,000 and 50 million hours worth on that track, so it might be tough. But so Connor / Troy.
Well, I gotta tell you, Terry, you're actually incorrect.
Oh.
Yeah. The actual answer is who is Chris, because he's gonna let the air out of everybody else's tires.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me.
Okay, hey, cool. All right, we're gonna introduce a new. Just for you tonight, Terry, a rapid fire segment between Rick and I. We'll each ask you one question apiece. You have to answer them as quickly as possible.
Okay. Do we have like game show noises if I get it wrong?
Well, if you get it wrong, it's because you're lying.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Oh, well, you can't see my eyes. I might be looking to the left or the right.
Well, yeah, and I don't know if you're itching your nose. Okay, so, Rick, are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay, question number 1. Terry, what kind of computer do you have?
Terry, question number 2 is, how did you get the number 2 number?
Terry, question number 3, what kind of wheel and pedals do you run?
Logitech.
Logitech what, though? Oh, wait, and...
920 or something, the latest one.
All right, sorry, that was set up beforehand. So now we'll actually let you go ahead and answer the question. So number 1 was what kind of equipment are you actually running?
The computer is a Thermalate case. I built it. I think it's got a gigabyte board. I think it's a GTX WindForce 1063 gig, 8 gigs of RAM. I think I have 2 slots open for more. Cooler on the CPU. And I actually run it out of a probably 2001 Polaroid 40 hertz monitor. So it's kind of like if you were playing iRacing on a Game Boy Advance, and I have a little Dell screen on the side that I do other stuff on, but that's basically it. So everything is pixelated and really bright in my face.
So in reality, you're actually like, all us guys, we're trying to get like big boosted computers and VR, and you're basically just playing like the first Mario Kart.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably like VRS. It looks great. I think it would help a ton, but I might lean towards doing triples sometimes. I don't think I could deal with it on my head. My headphones bug me after a bit, so I would love it, but I would probably pick triples.
All right. Well, I'll tell you 2 things. 1, I have them both, and triples are nice, but nothing shows you the track really like VR.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell from the videos. Absolutely. For me, it would be, I wish I could rent one, or if Connor wants to mail me his once the pro season starts in GRC, and I could try his out for a week and see if I like it and mail it back. But I agree with you just from what I see. I wish I could, maybe I'll just strap something on my head for 3 hours while I'm racing to see if I would like it.
Yeah, you could start with a phone and build your neck muscles up.
Yeah, that would be good. Like an old phone just hanging off my neck, and just start doing circles when I'm racing.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Sounds good. I forgot. That was the 3 questions, right? We only got the 3.
Yeah, I think Rick's second. Rick was second.
I think I got them all then, right? The Logitech, the one that's the PlayStation one instead of the Xbox one, because it has that annoying light in your face.
It's actually funny that you say that because I run Thrustmaster, okay, and the TX wheelbase, and everything in my computer room, I try to keep everything like color coded, so all my underglow and everything is all red, because it's like my favorite color. My keyboard, my mouse, everything stays the same. But on my damn wheelbase, because it's the Xbox one, I have to have it in quote unquote PC mode, which is stupid. But Xbox is red and PC is green, so that drives me nuts.
Yeah, I looked at some reviews. I was gonna get the Xbox one, and then when I saw a guy's setup when it was dark, I couldn't stand that light in my face. I'm a little OCD with some things.
So you're kind of like me. So if you ever have to do that, okay, in case something ever happens to your wheel and you don't have a choice, I can tell you black electrical tape does work.
Oh yeah, didn't think of that. Or I could just poke it out. One of the two.
You can go old school. Yeah, that's something that my dad taught me. You know, if you ever want to sell a car and it's got the check engine light, you just get a really small drill bit, and we won't talk about that. So.
Yeah. So where's that dealership?
That's a partner. Oh no, never mind.
So, yeah.
Get a suit on episode 2.
I work for not a dealership. Anyways, so okay, so we've got 205 motors in the 802, just to be more confusing. Terry, Rick Greenaway says that you can go over to his house and try VR.
Yeah, but I think from some of the pictures that he iRaces in his Solar, and I really like Rick. He's a really cool guy. Tons of great conversations with him, but I'd be a little scared to be alone in his Solar with him that I might not come back out.
You're going to be okay as long as he doesn't take you to the pleasure room.
Yeah, if somebody else came with me, maybe like a stun gun or something, I'd be up for it.
Yeah, 2 things. You don't go by yourself, and you don't let him close the door. You should be fine.
And don't drink anything.
I mean, water, but you got to take it from the tap yourself. Don't trust him.
Agree.
He makes this really great mixed drink. It's called the Cosby. I don't know what's in it, but I think it's good.
That was a long time ago. Doesn't matter.
So you have this great computer with a super monitor. What do you do anything else with your? Obviously, we know you do graphics. Tell me a little bit about that. How did you pick up on graphics?
Like graphics, making graphics?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like this funny picture I'm looking at right here?
Yeah, like that one. Which, by the way, if you can't tell, it's the wrong size.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I thought I gave you the right size.
Yeah, so did I, but you know, what the heck.
I tried to make it bigger to make up for other things, but maybe you needed it a little smaller. That there, I've never done anything in graphics in my life. I just, got GIMP for free. I don't know, maybe 6 months into iRacing, and I just switched over to Photoshop probably a month or 2 ago, but that was it. I'm still a noob. I mean, there's still billions of things that I don't know. I just watch YouTube videos and try to learn from that. I could never draw. I can make things with my hands, but can't draw, so Photoshop is kind of a great way to create things if you can't draw.
Well, I can tell you, as I don't really want to call myself a graphics guy because I'm not. I mean,
Try some of my pudding pops. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was trying to ignore that because now I'm laughing. Okay.
I have a button so I can let go and laugh and then just let you guys lose it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I went to push to talk tonight for some reason.
It's a lot safer.
Yeah. It
is. I mean, at least I was smart enough to make a key that I can mute my mic real quick. But so you do outstanding work. I mean, I don't want to, I'm not trying to toot your horn or anything like that, but the work that I've seen you come out with is just outstanding. So you're doing a really good job with it, and that's kind of cool on how you did that. Now let's try to get serious here just for a second, like 30
absolutely.
seconds.
I'm always serious.
Always. Okay. So what did you do before you were getting into iRacing? Like what do you do like every day? Like Terry outside of
every
the
day? I mean, my everyday life now is kind of boring. 18, I went to welding school. Was a welder fabricator for 25 years. Ran a couple different sheet metal shops down here in Springfield and South Hadley and Westfield. Did that for 25 years. Probably the last 5-6 years of it was more in a management type, not much welding. And then had a back injury 6 years ago or so. Got a couple rods and screws in my back and a couple discs fused together. So I do some art now, but basically my days are ice something else, ice something else. I don't do a ton, but I make the best of what I got, you know?
And I've seen the page. You said art. I've seen the page. Do you want to talk about, now there's a special project I don't want you to talk about, but you want to talk about what you do?
Troy wants me to talk about it because I've been like super lazy. I like started it and then...
Well, yeah, I know, yeah.
No, I thank him for getting on my butt about it because sometimes I need it.
So do you want to tell people about your page that they can go see?
Studios.com, and it's I make robots out of recycled materials. It kind of started after my second back surgery. I kind of needed something that I could do to, get me out of bed in the morning, but I could do it at my own pace. And so after my second surgery, down in my shop, I'd set up all these different chairs and different heights or whatever would work and was comfortable, and just started poking away at it. And of course you never think your own stuff is any good, and started doing a couple little shows, and then it kind of took off. And I've been bad with it lately just because my back hasn't agreed with me, but I think I've been doing that for 2 years now, and it's gone 1,000 times better than I ever could have imagined.
And that website again, Terry, was
tmrennertstudios.com.
Okay, that's about as serious as I can get right now. So I got to ask you, what's with the 1002 red Skittles?
It's something with the red dye and this girl I used to date, and it's kind of a memory thing, but I probably don't want to get into it on this show.
Fair enough.
Was his name Red?
I can't say if it was a he or she.
Okay.
Or a he, she.
Oh boy. So aside from graphics on your computer, are there any other games that call to you right now?
Right now, no. I mean, it's iRacing. I used to have a collection. I used to go to flea markets and buy old Nintendos and put new pin connectors in them and sell them. But then when the Wii came out with their game thing and Xbox where you could buy them, I kind of stopped doing that. But at one point I had all the old systems all set up on Switch boxes, from a Vectrex to Intellivision, ColecoVision, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Xbox, all the way down the line. I still go back and play Zelda Ocarina of Time a lot. That's one of my favorite games. But right now it's just iRacing.
No, there's nothing really wrong with that. That's very cool, actually. I mean, that's something like my man cave. I always wished I had a wall of all my old systems that I never cared about when I was a kid. But now that I'm older, it's like, man, it'd be cool to have that. But I'm not spending $600 for a regular Nintendo.
You can cheat. Like, I have a hacked Wii that I have every Sega and Nintendo game there ever was. But it's great playing them, but just not having the system, it's just not as cool as it would be having it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I played with a couple of emulators myself, and using like an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One controller, it's just not the same as having the old style controllers, but it's still fun.
Yeah, it is.
So let's talk about the league real quick. How did you find Racing for a Cause, and what made you come here?
I was thinking of that earlier. It took me a little bit to remember. It was when I was racing a ton of late models. I was doing originally on iRacing that I thought I wanted to race Cup and this and that, but I was stuck in the late models for a long time, really enjoyed it. And I was looking for a league with late models, scrolling through the league list, and saw Racing for a Cause, and I was like, that was when, you guys were going, what would you say, pinballs to the walls there, and, you had races just about every night of the week. So I was like, oh, this is epic. I can run all these different cars. It's a really great idea. They're not just Joe Schmo's Racing League or this or that. They're actually doing it for some reason, whether it's personal to themselves or somebody they know. And, I clicked join, and the rest is history.
And hopefully you've made a couple of friends along the way. But there's some racing that you're doing outside of League. And I happen to know you were doing it last night. What are you doing outside of the League?
Outside of RFC, now that we're down to less races, I'm a bit of, I don't know if the wording's correct, but I'm a bit of a League whore. Mondays I run American Dirt 360s, probably some of the best. That league's and one of the others got some of the best dirt guys. Tuesday, now I run with you guys. Wednesday, I don't think I run anything Wednesday. Thursday, I run American Dirt super lates. Actually, Connor's been running those with me lately, which is really cool. And last night, I got to thank him because he shared me a setup and really helped me out a ton. Saturdays, I run Dirt Slingers 360 Dirt League, and Sunday nights, I run Al over at Upstate, his Sprint League on Sundays. Ooh, that's the list. So kind of Dirt City and RFC.
Yeah, you're keeping yourself busy, and I want to ask you a question about Dirt since you've done it, and I haven't since the new build. I understand they did something with the cushion to make it a little bit more realistic. Were you able to feel that last night?
Last night, not so much. I mean, the track had a ton of wear, but I think most of the guys were running middle bottom. But in a few hosted at Lima Land, we started the track at 90%. And I mean, it's a pile of dirt up there. Like, it's usually when you run dirt, you see the marbles up there, and you can run right through them and you get loose, but they don't really have an effect as so a cushion does. But when we ran Lima Land, I mean, you could bump it and bang it and get good grip. I mean, it's really choppy. You have to be really careful. It works great, but it takes some time to get used to it. But it's there. A lot of the official races, I don't think you're going to see it a ton because they're really short and you're starting somewhere around anywhere from 10 to 25% wear. Most of those leagues I joined to get better because they start the race off at the night and the track never resets through 6 heats, qualifying, trophy dash, race. So it's destroyed. I think you're going to see the cushion a lot in those types of leagues, but I don't think you're going to see it a ton in official races.
That's one of the big things that I've noticed. I mean, going official is kind of fun, but there's something about league racing that just makes it like a whole new simulator. Number one, like Chris touched on, you get new friendships. Number two, you can kind of set a schedule and you don't have to really worry about, much things. You can bounce ideas off of other people and you don't have to really worry about those really bad drivers. But I think that's really cool on how they do that. So basically they started out with a nice, manicured track and then they just let it go. And, obviously that takes a lot of, time to practice and play with because that track's never going to be the same. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's helped me a ton. If I go in an official race now, I don't race a lot of officials, but I struggled a lot at first because, I had never driven on a track that's 80% and the entire track is slicked over. So it was a struggle at first. I'm getting better. Those guys are, some of the best there are, and I'm kind of excited. Connor obviously is, if you ask me, is pretty much a shoe-in for the GRC Pro license. I'll give it a go at the lates and the 360s, but I'm glad they're using snake splits, which means iRating doesn't matter because some of the best dirt guys they don't run officials. You know what I mean? So it leaves it open for them because if you look at their stats, they're not great because they run officials. They don't run officials,
Yeah, and from everything I've seen, from everything I've heard, I agree with you. Connor has a more than average shot at getting his pro license.
Well above average. Incredible there. I would be, unless he loses connection every race, I see no reason why he's not in there, which is pretty awesome to think that we have an RFC guy that's, got a black stripe and a pro license and is actually racing with sponsors and money, and that's a pretty cool deal. I mean, he sells himself a lot, but pretty damn good.
Yeah, he gets it. There's no question about it. Oh, stop yanking on his chain. I'm not yanking on anybody's chain. Anybody here yanking on somebody's chain that I don't know about? No.
You must be talking about my Connor comments.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants us to stop yanking his chain.
Okay, I will.
Connor, we're sorry. We just want you to know that we're proud.
I mean, any guy that's fast in GRC and is man enough to post a picture of himself with a reindeer outfit on is good in my book.
No, I don't think so, Rick. Okay, I'll do it. Boxer or briefs. Yeah, well, it was on.
We're boxer briefs.
You do both.
No, it's the combo pair there.
No, yeah, no, it's the combo. Yeah. And do you? No, I'm fine. Do you find that snugs just the right area?
Yeah, it's really good for iRacing too. It's very comfortable.
You can go for a long time with those.
Yes. It keeps the fungi factor at a minimum.
I would talk, but
yeah, I thought you were gonna ask me to wear diapers when I race. I didn't want to get it.
No, I mean on the 24 hours, I know.
Yeah,
but it depends.
Yeah, exactly. So glad I have a button.
Anything else that you want people to know about you on a personal level?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you'd really want to know a lot about me.
Well, every time I learn something, I'm either scared or dying laughing. So, the floor is really yours.
I guess it would be a question that would interest you, I guess. I mean, pretty much explained everything. I'm a simple guy, but not a simple guy,
Omnivore or herbivore?
Both.
So, wait. Okay. Rick Greenaway says you like walks at Chicopee State Park.
No, long walks on the beach in Portland.
Yeah, see, I knew the long walks on beach. You and I have had this conversation already. We've already white sand or brown sand.
Yeah, the whole deal.
Yeah, so we've done this, and I don't think we need to revisit.
Rick said in the chat that he walks in the Chicken State Park with a dog for some reason. I don't know. Oh, he gives out free ice cream. That's what it says.
Free ice cream? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, eventually we're gonna have to have Greenie on. Oh, hey, there's a good one. That's a good one. So what do you got?
Actually, I mean, modern era, I mean, I know everybody says the movies that they say. There was this old movie when I was younger. I think it was Kenny Rogers called Six Pack. I don't know if anybody remembers that. It was Kenny Rogers and this group of misfit kids, and they put this race team together, and I'm pretty sure it was called Six Pack.
I'm gonna have to IMDb that one.
Yeah, it was.
Kenny Rogers sounds familiar though.
Yeah, he had the chicken, and he did something else. He played cards or something. That's the answer like a kid would give you, right?
The Gambler?
Yeah. Yes, it was. Okay.
It was indeed called Six Pack. It was from 1982.
Yes, and I am old, so that was I was a teenager, I think, by then.
Yeah, and I'm not far behind you, and I'm pretty sure I remember it coming out.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Good kids. I don't know if I'd like it now, if it translates to adulthood, but I dug it.
That's kind of all that matters,
Yeah.
How about Stroker Ace?
Stroker Ace was good. There was just, I mean...
Lonnie Anderson. Lonnie Anderson in her prime.
There was something about Burt Reynolds I always just didn't like. I don't know what it was, you know.
Yeah, he's a like him or a hate him type of guy.
Did it for me. Yeah, I dug his movies, you know, Smokey and the Bandit and a lot of other stuff that I probably have no idea. But yeah, surprisingly there wasn't a lot of racing movies that I really liked because I think I was always picking at them. I was a realist, you know, like this is wrong and this is wrong, and so I think that kind of ruined it.
Have you seen the movie Rush from 2013?
Yes, that was a great movie. Not my favorite movie, but done incredibly well and learned a ton of stuff about Formula One and those two guys that I had no idea existed.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I learned a ton and a new respect for F1. And I thought they did an excellent job with that movie.
Yeah, I think Ron Howard, I know he directed it. I don't know if he wrote it or the screenplay or not.
I don't recall if he wrote it. Yeah, you're right. He directed it. I don't know if he. I don't think he did. I don't think he wrote it.
I think that's your wife saying you're almost out of time.
Yeah, almost. One last movie I got to run by you real quick. 2006, yeah. The Cars.
Oh, love Cars.
Okay, good.
I mean, I love that movie, but if I was to pick a racing movie, it'd probably be Six Pack. But all the Cars were awesome, and I don't want to admit it, but I got every achievement in the Cars Xbox game. There
you go. One. This is gonna be the last question. Oh, Troy Radford's checking in.
Oh boy, this.
Okay.
Is he still in Disney?
Yeah.
From like he borrowed Mickey's cell.
I thought he should be with his family or something at this point. He's got a couple of things here. He called. Who does Terry consider an alien? I think we already have that as Connor. And
yes.
And
I would consider Troy the alien in our B class. I know there's a lot of guys that alien at certain tracks, but if I was to pick a overall alien for the entire season, I would pick Troy.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna have to explain this alien thing to me at some point because I'm totally lost.
It's just somebody that can pick up iRacing or any other racing game, no practice, and it's just incredible.
Oh, that's Rick Greenaway.
Yes.
Exactly. But I forgot about him. He went up the chat list, but it would have been him.
Troy with a Scott Page question mark?
Oh, he was asking the alien thing.
Yeah. Scott Page, yeah. Beep, beep, boop, boop. I think we covered that too.
Yes.
Rush the movie or Rush the band?
I do like the band also. I don't like all, 29 albums, but I was a very big Rush fan when I was younger.
Okay, and then Troy obviously catching up now because we've already talked about boxers or briefs, and we've decided that it's a combo.
Depends.
No, he sent me a PM. He asked if I would ship them. You guys just can't see the thing below it.
Are those signed or unsigned?
Signed. I'll digitally sign them when we get them. Everybody's doing that now.
Yeah, that's the latest greatest thing. I think we better stop before we start getting ourselves in trouble.
Yeah.
Jeff Applegreen checking in.
Yes, my teammate.
Saying that you stink.
He's the innovator of Angry Dolphin Motorsports, is the banner that I fly, and also a sub-partner of Soggy Bottom Boys.
Is he a man of constant sorrow?
No, but he probably helped me the most on iRacing with getting better.
Very good. Bus is here. I'm out. So Troy was just waiting for the bus. Good to know that we're important enough for him to check in while he's waiting for a bus.
Missed the bus for this show. I mean, come on, he's even on the wall in your studio. You know.
I know. Well, he was episode 1.
That is a nice picture of him. I have to say that.
It is.
It wasn't sunny, or we probably wouldn't be able to even see
it. Hey. There's a reason why I have a hat on.
Well, if you notice, I left hats on both of you.
Yes, you did well.
How could you guys miss Talladega Nights? I mean,
I do like Talladega Nights. But if you were asking the question of comedy racing or racing movie, like if you said what's your all-time best movie, you can't really answer that. You kind of got to put it in a genre, you know?
I honestly never even noticed that it was funny. I'm just there for the Talladega part.
Yeah, actually, there was a movie I just watched not too long ago, a new one where they try to rob Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's got some racing in it.
That was an okay movie.
Yeah, it was all right, but it was easy to read. You know what was going to happen.
I can't remember the name of it, to be honest with you, but I know.
Yeah, it
what
was so
about.
good I can't remember it either.
It sounds like a nail biter. Guys, I think that's going to be it. We're going to call it. And Terry, I want to say thank you for coming out to the chat. I want to say thank you for coming out and spending some time with us. Any last thoughts, Terry Rennert?
Yeah, I just want to apologize if I ruined your YouTube channel here, but it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate it. I appreciate racing for the cause, all that you admins do. Obviously, that's why you're all on the wall back there. Love the league. I love what it stands for, and I'll be running paint in honor of Philip for the rest of the season in B class.
Awesome, and thank you for that. He appreciated it. He really did. Thankfully, I got to show him some pictures after. Oh yes, I do have a final thought. Oh crap, Rick, you have anything?
I don't. I mean, it was good. These things are fun, obviously. But Terry, definitely thank you for coming out tonight and taking some time with us to enlighten us a little bit more about your world.
Thanks for having me.
Right. And my final thought is, yes, I screwed up on Tuesday night. I accidentally deleted the race, trying to move it into the correct folder. And YouTube says that it's nearly impossible to do, and they don't bring them back. And as such, I have not received any response asking when I asked if they could. So I don't expect to have that race back. However, going forward, I will be streaming both live to YouTube, and I'm going to spend the money to do it. We're going to be streaming live on Twitch as well. That is my final thought for tonight. Gentlemen, very much a thank you to you and to everybody who is communicating to us through YouTube. Really do appreciate it. Guys, have a great night.
Ditto.
Have a good night, bud. I think it sounds like Chris might have gotten his boxer.
We clear?